Hey, and welcome to the Media Obscura podcast. We're a show dedicated to watching and reviewing obscure movies and television. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined today by my faithful co-hosts, Mike and Raekwon.
What?
What's up?
One of you sounds significantly more enthusiastic than the other. Raekwon, come on, step it up. No, seriously, Mike, what are you whatting at?
What? There's 3 of us in this episode today.
I know, this is technically the first time people will hear all 3 of us at once. Isn't that weird?
Right, yeah, not the first attempt.
It's like the 3rd or 4th attempt, candidly. But, hey, you know, if you fail once, try again, and also probably go into horrendous debt in the process.
Ooh.
Yeah. How about that? How are you guys? I haven't spoken to you both in like a week. Raekwon, I miss you. We should start having nightly phone calls. You should tell me about your day and perhaps share a drink of Chardonnay with me.
My days are the same. My quarantine days are exactly the same every single day.
Have you gotten to a place where you're just like scratching into the wall the number of days you've been at home?
I haven't run out of alcohol yet, so no.
Oh, okay. So once you start needing to make toilet wine.
Oh, prison hooch.
Ah, yes, that sweet prison hooch. Goes great with the prison cheese. Yeah. What about you, Mike? How's quarantine treating you?
Well, same with Raekwon. I haven't run out of booze yet. I've had like 7 sangrias since 2 days ago. So I've been drinking sangrias. I have tequila. We're good. That's good. We had margaritas, as you saw in our Facebook post that no one decided to like. I am insulted, guys. Come on. Support my alcoholism.
Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like both of you have like very serious drinking problems. Now, don't get me wrong. I've gone through a bottle of whiskey since moving back into my parents' house for this, but like,
Wow.
yeah.
But do you know why me and Raekwon are doing this? Because we're doing our rest of our semester online.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm working an additional hour or 2 every day, so go figure.
Yeah, the difference is you're getting paid to do this.
That's true. I am getting paid to do that, and then I immediately have to spend a lot of that on rent for an apartment I'm not at right now.
Crap, you're right.
Go figure.
Yeah.
And
how's Thera? Is Thera still there?
Yeah, she's Thera.
Right.
You know, that's about it. Yeah.
Stuck in Animal Crossing?
She's playing Animal Crossing. She's angry about something, you know, business as usual. Anyway, we're not here to talk about our sad, pathetic lives, although mine is significantly better now that Raekwon's here. Mike, can you can roll your R's, right? Well, no, wait for the fucking cue, Jesus. Yeah, now that my soul sister, Mike, now.
What? No. Oh.
Raekwon is here. Jesus, that was sloppy. We're gonna have to do rehearsals for this kind of shit. You need to anticipate me saying his name.
Oh, Raekwon. There's no. Oh, Raekwon. I don't know why there was an R in the middle of his name.
It's too many syllables.
That's how you can tell Mike's in a drunk stupor right now.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, we're not here to talk about that. This is the Media Obscura podcast, you know. So today on the show, we're going to be covering the 1980 space opera B-movie cult classic, Battle Beyond the Stars. It's a movie that has a lot of similarities to another popular American film. Perhaps you guys have heard of it. It's an epic journey throughout. No.
That's the one.
That's the one. Specifically that one. No, Mike, what is it for real though?
We are watching a movie that was based on the Star Wars saga called Battle Beyond the Stars.
Actually, not to be that guy, it's based off of the movie The Magnificent Seven.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, that's why you prefer Raekwon over me. I don't mess these things up.
Yeah, exactly. No, this movie is actually, you're absolutely right. It takes a lot out of the Star Wars playbook. It's a B movie. It was produced by Roger Corman. For those who don't know, Roger Corman is like the king of B movies. He is very much like Ed Wood on crack, except he made like marginally better films. He's responsible for like over 100 movies. The movies you would imagine, like, you guys ever watch late night TV or like a movie where you see the characters at a drive-in and they're watching a really weird, kind of very bootleg-looking movie.
Yeah.
Roger Corman made those movies for real. Like, his movies are notorious for recycling material from other films he had made. They're notorious for straight up ripping off other movies, much like this one does for Star Wars, and the plot for The Magnificent Seven, which kind of fun trivia. So even the idea of stealing the story of your movie from a Western or from another movie is kind of paying homage to Star Wars. Because the original Star Wars, this is the part where I get to tell everyone that I'm like a super Star Wars fan, right? And that like literally 3 feet away from me, I have a medal of the Ewoks for the Battle of Endor, like a little like war medal for it. Naturally. But no, so the original Star Wars was heavily inspired by the Akira Kurosawa film, The Hidden Fortress. Like, so much so that an earlier draft of the movie was essentially Hidden Fortress in space. Now, Battle Beyond the Stars is similar to that because it steals its story from The Magnificent Seven, which is a really famous popular Western from back in the day. That happened to be a remake of another Akira Kurosawa film, Seven Samurai.
Wow. It's just an entangled web of just confusing the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's literally just remaking the same movie. This is like a third generation remake of Seven Samurai.
So Seven Samurai was a knockoff of Magnificent Seven?
No. Magnificent Seven was an Americanization of Seven Samurai.
And then he did a knockoff of Magnificent Seven with this movie.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how we got Battle Beyond the Stars.
So you were serious. I thought it was actually based on Star Wars and not this Magnificent Seven.
Well, I mean, this movie clearly owes a bit to Star Wars. But
a large bit.
Yeah, it really is based on Magnificent Seven.
Explains why George Lucas didn't like sue them for copyright infringement or likeness. It was because this just had to say it was from Magnificent Seven, not that.
I mean, I feel like he didn't try to sue them also because it is like, look, making a science fiction movie in the wake of the massive success of Star Wars doesn't necessarily mean you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It means you're probably cashing in on the success of Star Wars, but you're still making a different movie. You can make the argument that George Lucas would, if that was the case, he would have gotten sued by the guys who did Flash Gordon and like all the other stuff, but I don't know. Anyway,
as long as you have characters named Marth Splater and Rick Grounddigger and Sir or
Sleep Threep Peepio
Dame.
If you essentially if you don't say the names of the characters from Star Wars in Pig Latin, Luke Skyscalker, like
Poe 7, Water Bottle 7. Yeah, you know
exactly.
These derpy looking characters.
Derpy Longstockings. That's an original character. That's an OC.
There you go.
Well, one of the villains' names in Battle Beyond the Stars is Lord Sador. So,
oh, that's true.
They don't actually say Lord and Sador together. They just say like my Lord, but his name's Sador.
Sador, so it is Lord Sador instead of Lord Vader.
Yeah.
That's pretty on the nose.
Great.
So if you guys can't tell, this movie is like Star Wars, the bootleg, the movie. To the point where when I texted you guys that we were watching it, I texted you, "We have Star Wars at home," in quotes, and then I just sent you the link to this movie, which is fantastic. That is entirely how you tell people you're watching bootleg Star Wars.
There you go.
But yeah, so like one other really cool thing about this movie, I didn't know it was this movie. I knew this piece of trivia, but I didn't know it was for Battle Beyond the Stars specifically. But guess who worked on this movie before going to basically great heights with the box office and becoming still a highly relevant person to this day?
Who?
James Cameron.
Really?
Ooh.
Yep. James Cameron did the special effects for this movie. He got really high marks for it, and it basically set him on the track to making Terminator 5 years later.
So this is not really a B movie. This is a what the heck is it called?
A footnote
Luke
movie?
Skywalker. What's it called when it's a frick is it called? When Luke Skywalker coming of age. It's a coming of age story. No,
Not
right?
really.
Yeah, it's a coming of age movie.
No, it's just a footnote. It's a footnote in James Cameron's career because like he went on to make objectively good movies after this. But like it's really cool to hear that like he was just like an assistant or something on the set of this, and then they just told him to do the special effects because like something happened to the other guy who was doing it. So he did it, and then he became James Cameron. The other really cool piece of trivia in this is something Raekwon brought to my attention. Raekwon, you want to spill the beans here?
Ooh.
Yeah, what's his name? Nestor, the hive mind in the movie?
Yes.
Is played by Earl Bowen, who is also Dr. Silberman in the Terminator movies.
Yeah. He's the psychologist in the Terminator movies. Nestor.
Oh, I see his picture. What the hell?
Yeah, now you see it. Like now that we've said it. Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't like make that connection. Like he looked familiar to me, but he was in so much makeup that I just couldn't do it. Also worth mentioning, before we do dive into like a basic plot synopsis before going into the episode itself, last week, Mike, you and I did something really cool. We released a full video version of the podcast on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out full video versions that you can like, you know, Google stream technology, whatever, onto your TV or something. Can you tell that I'm a millennial? You can do that now, essentially. All you have to do is find us on YouTube, the Media Obscura podcast, or you could go to our link tree, linktr.ee/TheMediaObscura, and you could just click the YouTube button and go directly to our YouTube channel. That's a thing. You'll see a really fun image there for Raekwon today because he doesn't have video. He looks, Raekwon, have you done something with your skin, man? You look fantastic.
Yes, I'm going for, what was his name in the movie? I've just been calling him the lizard guy the whole time.
The lizard guy.
It's just Raekwon has suddenly become a bearded dragon, and he's like, I'm learning how to exfoliate.
I'm melting right now.
Does anyone have some Aveeno?
Aloe vera.
Can we get a check from Aveeno for that? We're stuck at home. We could use the income right now. You know, please, Aveeno.
We'll probably just get a cease and desist from them.
And Nintendo, because Raekwon, if all goes according to plan, I will have used an Animal Crossing character for your footage today.
Oh, no.
I'm looking forward to it because I don't have Animal Crossing.
What did I call it in the group chat? I think I called it Project Egyptian Goddess.
Yes, that's what it was. Exactly. These Leslie Knope comments or compliments. Leslie Knope and Ann Perkins level.
I think you got to explain it to our listeners because I don't think we've ever dived into that on this show before.
I don't know exactly when it started, but we both like Parks and Rec a lot, and it's kind of been like, I don't know, that's our thing on social media, that you would just, you know, gas me, make me feel like the Ann Perkins to your Leslie Knope.
Oh, no, there's no making you feel like, it's acknowledging the fact that you are.
It's just, it is what it is.
And you reformed pyromaniac with a sudden heart of gold.
And you have I have a lot of memes. I don't know how I would show. I guess I got to tweet them to the Media Obscura.
I'm feeling left out here.
There's so many memes.
Mike's a Jerry.
Aw.
Sorry, it's a Gary. Or a Terry.
You mean I'm not, I haven't seen Parks and Rec in so long, so I'm not Chris Pratt's character?
No, in all actuality, you probably are the Chris Pratt character from Parks and Rec. Which kind of like how my actual spirit animal from Parks and Rec is Ben Wyatt.
Yeah,
you are Ben Wyatt.
Yeah, you really are.
Like to the point where I like unusual, like when I go to work, I dress a bit like Ben Wyatt. I talk about Twin Peaks way too much. You know, I unironically call movie soundtracks mixtapes by the director. So ask me how my love life is going. It's going great.
I think I sent you a meme of Ben Wyatt holding up like his Animal Crossing house. Like, could a depressed person make this?
Yeah.
That's literally.
You sent me that last week, and that has literally been me since that game came out. But yeah, so Battle Beyond the Stars. The basic plot of this movie, we were talking a bit before we did the episode, or we started recording this. We were all talking about how we don't know what the fuck this movie is about.
Nope.
I think I have an idea. Like, I've kind of scrambled through it and somewhat come up with a plot. I've checked it and double-checked it on Wikipedia to make sure it makes some sense. But the basic plot of the movie is that there are these evil guys in space. They have some kind of super weapon that can destroy planets. And they're, yes, that sounds a little familiar.
Well, I can explain that. That what they were talking about in that, I can basically get the sum of that, and because they had what's called a stellar converter, and that don't you give me shit for this, Nick? Okay, so
why would I?
Because I am going to my degree at this point.
Oh my God, Mike, using his degree. I went to college. I think I'm better than you. When I look in the mirror, I don't sob about my micro penis.
Should I continue?
Yeah, please continue.
Just doesn't deny any of it.
I sob about my macro asshole because I'm Mike.
It just was it like spaghetti coming out?
Oh
my God. Well, now we're just moving on.
So, moving on from that little image for Nick, because he started it. It's all his fault. A stellar converter is just how it sounds. It's you convert whatever it's shot at to a star. Stellar meaning star, okay? So, my problem with that is you can't turn a planet into a star. You just can't. All right? You can do...
Sure you can.
It has to be the amount of, it's just, which means it's just shooting so much mass into it. Well, Jesus, it's so much more complicated. It's first of all, it has to be gas, specifically hydrogen gas. Two, it has to be really massive remember, it's not burning. I feel like you're gonna cut all this out, and I'm not gonna like this.
No, I'm not gonna edit it out. Please make your science point while Raekwon and I shake our head in disgust. I have to now. No. Before you continue, for the Animal Crossing footage, I have to actively remember to shake my character's head at some point to put it in for Raekwon.
You got the emojis, right? You got the emotions unlocked? Good. Then you're good. All right? So, as I was saying, you need hydrogen. A lot of hydrogen gas. Then, you need a pressure. Gravity. The gravity is what does it. Because remember, stars don't burn. They are so massive that gravity pushes down on them, fusing the hydrogen together, creating helium. 4 hydrogens making 1 helium. And that creates energy. That's E = MC squared thing that some guy created.
Some guy with a bad haircut said that once, I think.
Dude.
It turns out he was an asshole. So, yeah. But that's what you need. And you can't do that to a planet, all right? You just can't. It's not going to work. The science, I mean, I was watching Star Wars the other night with Aaron, and they were fighting in the asteroid field. I said, that's not how it happens. Asteroids are like millions of miles apart from each other. So, just letting you know, if this was an actual battle, it'd just be cruising.
You are so much fun at parties, aren't you? Like, you're the guy who went to the premiere of The Force Awakens, and you were just like, "This is stupid. They can't make sound in space." Here,
I do that
watch.
too.
Oh, what's that guy in the front row telling me to shut the fuck up? Guess what? If we were in space, you wouldn't be telling me to because you can't make noise out there. Now stop the projector. Grabs an expo marker, walks up to the screen. I'm going to write an equation for you assholes. This equation proves that fire, explosions, and the Force in space are bullshit.
It's just a big middle finger.
It's just a penis. He's drawn a penis on the projector.
Is it the micro penis?
Yeah.
That was mentioned before.
I can't read the equation. It's a dot. It's a micro penis.
Wait.
And it's to scale. Thank you very much.
If I put a dot on the projector, wouldn't it project on the screen a little bigger so they would be able to see it
No, I
still?
meant you drew it on the screen, not the projector. Unless it was that small to begin with. Unless you have another equation for that, science geek.
Ouch. Well, I'll leave it to I'm not going to leave it to you, Nick. I'm going to leave it to Raekwon now. Because at least he cares.
See, this is the bad thing about the three of us being here. Now the guilt is sinking in because Mike can just deflect to someone besides me.
Yes.
Damn.
On the last attempt, me and Mike were ganging up on you. Maybe that's about to happen the shift is gonna start like now.
Yeah.
We're just gonna start gaslighting Nick.
Yeah. We're gonna run this show. Nick, you're gonna be the mic of the show now, and I'm gonna be Nick.
This is the part where you unironically put a red cap on with the words "Make Media Obscura Great Again" on it.
I'm looking around. I don't have one.
Excellent. Continue, Raekwon. Please tell us if you can make any sense of the plot after the point of there being a super weapon in it.
That turns things at start.
They blew up a planet. I think they showed that happening, and then they arrive at the planet Akir, where Lord Seder, not Lord Vader.
Lord Seder sounds like just like, I don't know, a temple or something trying to be really cool about Star Wars. Like really trying to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, for your bar mitzvah, we're having a Star Wars themed party. We're calling it Lord Seder on the Sabbath.
Oh.
Continue.
Okay, so Lord Seder is now speaking to the people of Akir, this small planet with nothing to offer to anybody, just a group of peaceful people, right? And he's basically saying, in 7 days, I'm going to come back here. I don't know why he's warning them. I don't know why that's happening, but he's basically telling them in a couple of days, he's coming back to conquer the planet.
Yeah,
Don't know why that happened.
Explain why he does that? Because
No.
I feel like he could have just like skipped showing up in the first act. You know,
Right.
maybe he could have just showed up and they would have been completely defenseless.
I still felt like they were defenseless even when they had defenses. Like I thought they didn't have enough.
They
Anyway.
were the Christians of the universe.
What's that supposed to mean?
So they would say the things they would say, their mottos and stuff, were basically very Christian. Okay, you do unto others what they have done to you, and we don't fight, and we don't take lives. It's against religion
and live long and prosper.
That too.
Oh, at one point in the movie, someone did say, "Beam her up." Do you remember that?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
did not remember that. Someone actually said that in the movie?
Because it was one of the guys that was one of the evil guys that kidnapped the woman from the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Beam her up," and he just kidnapped the woman and yeet.
Oh, yeah.
I think they raped her. So
Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of just implied space rape at one point in this movie.
No, it wasn't. I don't know if it was implied. It was just like straight up because when they cut back to them, when we finally see those two like mutated stormtroopers again, one of them is, piloting, and then the other one is in the back, and he's like, "Hey, come out here. There's a ship out here," and he's like, "I'm busy." And then he's like, "Nah."
That's
He tells him to come
terrible.
out again, and then he's like fixing his clothes on the way back.
Jesus. Okay, so they did just straight up. Okay. All right, this
Straight up
is...
space rape.
Okay,
rape.
so it's a movie. Let me see if I get this right. If I've got this. It's a movie about Lord Seder trying
Yep.
to destroy a planet. Do we know why he's trying to destroy it?
he just wants to take over the planet. And if they don't comply, he will just turn your planet into a star. Oh no! Out of all the planets, why does he want this one? There's billions of other planets.
The farming planet that made a point to say that they have no money or centralized currency system and that they literally farm.
He just
Yep.
felt like taking over.
So Lord Seder is an asshole with
Yeah.
a sun gun, and he's trying to bully pacifists for reasons.
But the pacifists have a savior. They have a savior in Luke Skywalker. I mean, Shad.
Yes.
I am very impressed that Raekwon remembers all the names.
Oh, no.
Nah.
Before you got into the call, we actually Googled all of the names and wrote them down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's actually prepared.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
I do remember Shad because I kept thinking his name, they were calling him Chad. I was like, why is his name Chad?
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
But the guy from Earth's name was Space Cowboy. He didn't have a name, but his name's Chad. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, it's also weird because Shad has arguably the only normal name. Like, Shad isn't that normal a name, but it's a fucking name at least. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, the character who was literally from Earth, Cowboy, his name is Cowboy.
Yep.
Yeah, all the character names in this movie are all one word. It's all Shad, Jelt, Sador, Cowboy,
Nanalia,
Zed.
Paymore,
Nestor.
Quapeg.
Yeah.
Are we having a stroke?
You know, I ask myself that every time I read science fiction. Like, no, genuinely, because like I'll read something that's science fiction-y and I'll be like, what are these names? Like, why couldn't you have named them Timothy or something? Like, give me a name that I can pronounce, please.
Just choose another country in the world that has interesting names and use those. They don't have to be American or English.
Yankovic.
Oh, Kelvin. That was a name. That's a regular name too. The Kelvin, remember them?
Kelvin isn't a name, it's a temperature.
I know someone named Kelvin.
Well, you're friends with a temperature, Raekwon. Now tell me, is he hot?
No.
He's 273 degrees Kelvin, Nick.
He's 273 degrees Kelvin. There you go. When your friend Kelvin is like trying to hit on someone at a bar, does he like lean onto the bar and go, "It's about to heat up. How you doing? The name's Kelvin."
I wonder
Kelvin.
if he knows what his name is. I should ask him.
I feel like I just shit on a very close personal friend of yours, and I'm okay with that.
Wow, Nick. Let me ask you this, Nick. The cowboy. Did you get Cowboy Bebop vibes from him just because of it?
Yeah, because his name is Space Cowboy. He leans in a chair, and he has a very whatever happens attitude.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Han Solo vibes going on.
You got what, Han Solo vibes?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the Han Solo.
Yeah, he was pretty clearly. This movie's attempted a Han Solo, to which I go, wow, you missed the ball.
But
the Choxin one is Luke.
Yeah.
What's that?
The
They
Choxin one is
substituted
Luke.
the guy.
Yeah.
They substituted Chewie for like alcohol.
For alcohol. Oh my god.
That's dark, but yeah, not totally inaccurate.
He replaced it with substance abuse? Wow.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's how that works in real life, Mike, believe it or not.
At least in the movie, when whatever the chosen one's name was, what was his name?
Shad.
Shad?
Yes.
Is it Chad or Shad?
Shad.
Shad.
Chad. Okay,
No,
Chad.
Shad.
Oh,
Shad.
Shad, like shag. Okay,
Yes.
Shad with a sh. He saw Space Cowboy, smoking. He's like, "You actually putting smoke in there?" He's like, "Yep, it's a horrible habit." He's like, "Yeah, don't do it." Okay. He's like, all right, Space Cowboy's wise also saying people don't smoke, but I'm sure he says he's from Earth, so he's the only one smoking. So I don't think they have cigarettes in this universe except on Earth.
No, exactly. And they don't have alcohol anywhere either, because one of the characters was confused by his whiskey.
Ooh, that was.
I was just impressed because, and we'll get to the movie in order in a second, but I do have to bring up, Shad had this belt that had a pouch with whiskey in it. Like specifically whiskey, ice, and soda. And he just, throughout the movie, he's like pulling it out and he's making himself a scotch and soda.
Wasn't that in Dazed and Confused? Didn't they have a belt for that?
Yeah, in Dazed and Confused, Pink, the main character, has like a belt that can be used as a pipe or a bowl
That's it.
specifically. But like, I just love that kind of accessory. I just think it's so cool. He has a Batman-styled utility belt for alcohol. Because of course.
That's why he's the best character and the wisest. And
That's
his
how you
death.
know.
was
That's how
sad.
you know it's science fiction.
Why? Because a cowboy can't be cool?
No, because a cowboy the utility belt, Mike.
Cowboys can't have utility belts? It's called their gun holster.
Whatever. Anyway, so yes, Darth Sador, Lord Sador, Anakin Sador, he wants to kill these people, and Shad of planet Akir is basically sent on this quest to put together a team of exemplary mercenaries and heroes in order to defend the planet.
Okay.
Now that you put in those words, yeah, it's Magnificent Seven.
It's the Magnificent Seven / the Avengers. He is Nick Fury.
You just said Anakin Sador, right?
Anakin Sador. Yes.
He has a scar too over his eye, by the way.
That's just coincidence.
Oh, okay.
but funny you mentioned that, because like now that we're talking about the way Sador looks, the whole time I was watching this movie, I just imagined Kyle MacLachlan playing him, of all people.
What?
Oh, that would have been perfect. I would
Yeah.
have loved Kyle MacLachlan to do that.
Yeah,
But-
you could see it.
Yeah. Definitely. He would have played a great villain. But film guy, you want to care to explain why the background of when it was on him was blue, or like why the whole film was blue with him?
What do you mean why the whole film was blue?
Whenever it was on Darth Vader, it was blue. The screen was blue, tinted blue, or
Not on the copy of the movie I saw.
the one on YouTube.
Well,
The one on
okay, no,
YouTube
like I
was
actually
like-
rented the movie
You
because
paid for it.
I did, but for the simple fact that I wanted to watch it in like higher quality. Wait, now I have to see this shit. Are you kidding me? Was it like just very obviously blue?
Yes,
That's strange.
like they shined a blue light on him, and it was weird.
I mean, it was probably just to make you uncomfortable. Oh, I see it now. No. That's just the lighting in the scene itself.
No dramatic effect.
Yeah, it was just like a nice dramatic touch. I think also like science fiction, especially 70s, 80s science fiction tended to do that just because it's like a very unnerving color. It doesn't look natural, kind of. There is a point when Sador was talking to the people of Akir and, telling them that he was going to kill them all in a week, basically. There was a moment where it just reeked of Jor-El from the first Superman movie. Like the hologram head just floating
yeah.
there.
I was getting Power Rangers vibes from that.
Yeah, it is. It's basically what's his face from Power Rangers also.
Zordon.
Zordon. That's it. I was going to say Zorro and I'm like, what? Antonio Banderas was nowhere in this movie.
If Antonio Banderas was in this movie, be nice.
Zorro should have been one of the mercenaries.
But
like-
the way we're describing this movie makes it sound like it's great, but it was more like a softcore porn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to each their own. I seem to be the only person that enjoyed this movie, I guess.
Are you kidding me? The scene where they wanted him to procreate.
Oh,
or
no,
the-
I
the
wasn't
big
saying this
boobed
movie
woman,
was good. I was saying that I enjoyed it. There's,
or the literal ship that has a rack on it.
once again,
What
I wasn't
ship
saying
was
this
that?
movie was good or tasteful.
It was the main ship. It's the ship the Chosen One drove. If you look at the poster for the movie, the ship has boobs.
Okay, I'm looking it up right
The
now.
ship
Go
does,
look.
in fact, look like it has breasticles. I say breasticles because depending on how you look at it, it can go either ways.
Because the ship's a woman also. The ship can talk like in 2001 Space Odyssey. Space Odyssey. Okay?
Yes, the
So-
ship does have an AI on it. That's like a pretty common thing in science fiction, though, I think. No, look, this is, by all means, we did say that this was a Roger Corman movie. It's a B movie. It is not tasteful. It is not well made, and it does not have it is not going for quality. Let's put it like that. But
it did it didn't bomb as bad as I thought it was for its ratings, because it got like 5.5 out of 10. It got decent ratings for a B movie. So
so the thing is with this movie and all B movies, they're made for a lot cheaper than they should be. This movie was made for $2 million, It made $7 to $11 million depending on where you look. So it made money. But
which is good.
that's the Roger Corman way. He makes these movies very quickly and for very little amounts of money, throws them on the market because they are designed to compete and be comparable to more popular movies, and they make their money back, and he can go on to make another movie. Another really popular Roger Corman movie, for example, is Piranha. I don't know if you guys have heard of Piranha. That's like a pretty well-known movie.
That's newer though.
No, Piranha came out around the same time as this.
Really? And then they remade it then.
Yeah, they must have done a remake or something, but Piranha was like very obviously cashing in on Jaws.
And then we got like the Anaconda and Sharknado and
Well, Sharknado is like something else. Like
that's a cult.
that's a B movie also, I suppose, but like Sharknado is different in the sense that it's made post B movie. So like B movies were a real thing for the longest time. The idea with a B movie was like back in the day when you sold movies to theaters, you sold them an A picture and a B picture. The A picture was an actual movie. It was Gone with the Wind. It was Casablanca, stuff like that. The movies people actually fucking wanted to watch.
Okay.
The B movie was kind of like packaged in. It was faster. It was made a lot cheaper. it was sent to the theaters to fill out their theater, basically. So it's like, okay, I've seen Casablanca 3 times. What else am I going to watch? Okay, I'm going to watch Plan 9 from Outer Space.
So what was the first B movie?
I don't know off the top of my head, but that's kind of the culture where B movies were made very cheap, and they weren't trying to be cheesy or bad. They just ended up being those things because of how rushed they were more often than not. A movie like Sharknado is made by people who love B movies and is trying to make a B movie, which in itself means they aren't making a B movie necessarily.
You explaining that reminds me of a movie I watched about it was in one of these film classes, but it was literally about a guy, just like a struggling producer or something, trying to make a B movie, but like back when, I guess was it
Barton
No,
Fink?
I don't think so. What'd you say?
Barton Fink?
No, I don't know. Well, I don't know, actually. I'll have to look it up because I can't remember the name, but literally about a guy trying to make a B movie back when it was like more legitimate, and it just turned out bad because they had to get bad actors, didn't have much money, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I think B movies, first off, are the best thing ever. Like, Mike knows this, but when I was getting into movies in high school and stuff, I wasn't necessarily watching good movies. I was watching the good stuff that everyone, quote unquote, needs to watch, but I was also watching all the weird, eclectic, and mostly public domain stuff that's on YouTube or archive.org for free legally.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like all these very eccentric, silly movies. Like, again, all the Ed Wood movies. There was this whole phase. What's that?
Is that how you found Plan 9?
Yes and no. I found Plan 9 because the Angry Video Game Nerd did a video about the Ed Wood movie, and then I watched Ed Wood and then got into all of his actual movies.
Okay.
But yeah, I just got into like all this stuff. So I love B movies. It also helps that stuff like Mystery Science Theater 3000 literally exists because of B movies.
Yes.
So
I googled what the first B movie was, and according to Google, it is Stranger on the Third Floor.
Well, I know what I'm adding to my instant queue. Stranger on the Third Floor. I'm gonna, yeah.
Widely described as the first classic film noir.
Okay. Yeah, that's also worth mentioning. B movies aren't necessarily cheesy bad movies. They're literally just movies that were made very quickly and very cheaply to be packaged with another film.
But like all things over time, the meaning of them evolves and changes. So it's associated with something different. So when you hear a B movie, you think a very bad movie.
Yeah, that's kind of what people think of it as. Like, people would probably call The Room a B movie, but it's somewhat misclassified as one. It's not actually a B movie. Fuck, I mean, The Room apparently cost like a minor fortune given, the scale of the production. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to Battle Beyond the Stars. So, yeah, Shad, he has to go on this adventure to collect people to fight the bad guy, Lord Sador. Cool. The first person he's sent out to find is this old friend of the planet's, this doctor who should be able to help them get weapons, something to that effect. This man, he lives on a satellite. So, like we said earlier, he has, Shad has this ship that resembles breasticles, for lack of a better term. And he gets on it. It's controlled by an AI named Nell. And they find the satellite. Once they get there, what do they find, guys?
I don't remember. I remember the movie opening up like Spaceballs and Star Wars with the ship passing through the scene and getting the end of the ship, and then it's a weather satellite saying like just describing the weather like a weatherman, and then they see the ship coming. It's like, "Oh, hello, stranger. How are you? What is your name?" And they get no response. They're like, turn the translator on. Maybe that will help. Like, hello? Is anyone there? And then the ship just disintegrates them. Not even blows them up, just disintegrates them, and then it just keeps going. I'm like, wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. They don't even do anything with that. Huh. Go figure.
There was a scream, it just goes, Done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So what does Raekwon? Do you remember what happened?
When he got to the satellite,
Yeah.
I remember when he got onto the, I guess, inside of the satellite, a little car came up, like a shuttle,
Mhm.
and he's supposed to get on it. And I remember this scene because he sat down and it clamped his hands down and is supposedly his neck, but it was like on his collarbone, and he started acting like he was being choked, but it was like nowhere near his neck.
Yeah.
All right, that's a problem right there. So you're trying to find your way around. A car comes up and you don't know what it is, so you sit in it and just go along with it instead of thinking it's a trap. You just go, oh, it looks comfy. It just sits down.
Oh no, no one could have predicted this predicament. Like, in his defense, he was kind of expecting a non-violent welcome because, like, it's supposed to be a friend of the planet's.
True.
I guess he could have sent like a text, just like a quick text message being like, yo, visiting satellite, be ready for human contact.
But they knew he was coming.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't
Well,
know.
the father did.
He didn't know that he was coming. He knew that he was there. There's a difference. Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec. So yeah, Shad gets captured and taken. Yeah, I did do the air quotes.
Captured.
He gets taken, and we meet the female love interest, Nanalia. She's the only
Love interest.
She's the love interest. Yeah. She's basically this woman that lives on the satellite with her father, the person that Shad had gone to visit. She has never seen another human being besides her father, which is debatable in and of itself, which we'll get into in a second.
But it's at this part of the movie that it starts becoming softcore porn.
Is it?
I will debate that, because what happens next is that the stupid little guy gets sat in a chair, gets carted off to the woman who has never seen another living organism before because it's all inhabited by robots. She repairs the robots.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes him to her father, who then proceeds to say, you can't leave, you need to procreate with my daughter and make us have kids.
Okay,
And
so not to defend the softcore pornography. Weirdest sentence I've said today, by the way. I feel like it's only downhill from here, though. So, no, not to defend it. I don't think that's softcore porn. It's questionable. It's weird. But, like, maybe I think that just kind of syncs up with, like, general cringiness in bad science fiction. Like, I like sci-fi. I'm not that into science fiction, but I feel like science fiction, lower tier science fiction, kind of just has this through line of, like, wow, we're really going to pander to what can best be described as a very sexually repressed audience. And I'm not saying that sci-fi nerds are sexually repressed. I'm saying that a lot of lowbrow science fiction acts like their audience is.
All right, I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know, that's kind of my hot take on it. I also don't consider that, again, it's problematic and it's weird. I don't consider it that pornographic. That could also just be because I've seen the movie Barbarella, which is like a million times worse.
I've heard of that. Maybe you told me about it, but
yeah, I have the DVD like 5 feet away from me, so that sounds about right, Raekwon. Barbarella's another movie I really want to do on the podcast one day. I would have done it for this episode, but I actually really want my friend Jackson. I mean, you guys both know Jackson. I want him to be in it because that movie has been a running gag between us for well above a decade now.
I don't think I've ever seen Barbarella.
All you need to know about Barbarella is that it stars Jane Fonda as a space princess warrior that takes her clothes off way too often, honestly. And she's on a mission of love. That is literally the pitch of the movie.
Yeah, I think you mentioned this in maybe one of the attempts of us being on all at the same time, but I do remember.
It's a scale, all right? Ricky 1 is very far to the left of softcore porn. And then it's Barbarella. And then it's probably another movie. And then it's this movie.
Yeah, I guess.
It doesn't get softcore pornish in this movie until the third member comes. What's her name?
Saint Exman.
Look, Valkyrie.
Oh, the
It's not Valkyrie, Valkyrie or whatever.
That's right.
Because at one point the chosen one talks to the love interest and is like, she's like, I've never done it with another organism before. How is it done? He's like, well, there's a male and a female. Just two? Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 other kinds. It's like, no. Just the male and the female. And like all that is like, she's like, I hope to try it sometime. It's like, well, I can show you the ropes. I'm like,
That
dude,
was pretty bad.
You look like you don't even know what a rope is.
Yeah. You think a rope's used to play hangman. Anyway,
Literally.
yeah, I guess like you're right. Like this movie definitely does skate towards being softcore porn at points. It's definitely an uncomfortable line, and it was my least favorite part of the movie for what it's worth. I was in it for the dumb space explosions.
Oh, fine. But I like the robots in this part of the scene. They were good robots. I'll give them that. Especially when the old man was talking to the robot and he's like, okay. He tries to leave. And then the guy keeps talking. He's like, and he talks again. He keeps turning back and forth. He's like, yeah, sir. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure I'll be fine. Yeah. And then leaves.
I like the robots too. They were pretty good. I think they were mimes. They had to have been mimes because their pantomiming was really just on point.
Yeah, it was really good.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, like we were saying, yeah, he's taken to the dad and told that he basically should marry the daughter because space perverts. Who says that, by the way? Hey, nice to meet you. You should go have a kid with my daughter. Like, I don't know.
She's good looking. She's ready. Help us have pitter-patter her little feet. Like, dude, whoa. I just met you.
I'd slap you, but you're literally just a head. I don't know what it would do to you.
That's right. He's just a head.
Yeah, that was the point I was making earlier, or like alluding to. This guy that he went to visit, he's just a floating head. Like, he's literally a head on a respirator with
the iron
lungs. Yeah.
It's Grievous.
It's General Grievous. It's Space Grievous.
Wait, General Grievous is in space.
Yeah.
Space Grievous.
He's bootleg Grievous.
He's Gorvis.
He's not Grievous. He's General Grievous.
What's the opposite of what's the opposite of grieve?
Celebrate.
It's General Celebrate.
General Celebratory.
Celebrating the kid that he's going to have, or the grandchild that he's going to have, potentially.
Celebrating the break of celibacy. That just that made my brain happy. Just the phonetic.
That should be the title of the episode.
Celebrating celibacy.
No, never mind.
Yeah. But like, moving to the next scene. So yeah, that all happens, but Shad's just like, this is dumb. I have to save my planet because I'm the hero. And he says exactly that, believe it or not. He looks at the camera and goes, I'm the hero. I'm going to save the day.
So we use what we came up, me and Aaron, what I think Aaron came up with is when that part came in, it was, basically what the dad wanted was a procreation celebration.
The procreation celebration.
It sounds like a dance.
It does. The school dance that led to record teenage pregnancy.
All right, everyone, time to do the procreation celebration.
You've heard of the fish under the sea dance. You've heard of the enchantment under the sea dance. You've heard of prom. You've heard of the whatever the dance is when the girls ask the Sadie Hawkins dance.
Yep.
Yeah.
The procreation celebration. Celebrate.
That sounds like a lost Madonna song. Anyway. Yeah, so that happens. Shad's like, I have to save my friends. And then he just tells Nanalia, like, yeah, you should come with me. Okay, bye. And then he leaves. That's literally that's actually the way it goes, more or less. We did get one creepy moment where the dad kind of hinted towards knowing everything that happens on the ship while it's happening. Because he's like an android on this iron lung, he's essentially the ship now. And
dude,
he's basically like, oh yeah, I listened to the story while you were telling it to my daughter, which makes me wonder, when he tells Nanalia that he's going to leave and that she should come, is he just like getting annoyed about it, or is he cool with it?
I think he's cool with it because he knows as long as she's with him, there's a chance they'll procreate.
Do you think that was his play? Because, yeah, he didn't.
I think so.
Because, again, he knows everything that's happening, but he lets his daughter get on the ship and possibly go die against the most dangerous person in the galaxy.
But what could he really do about it, though? He is just
He's like, well,
He's the ship, Raekwon. He can lock the doors. At the very least, he can fake having a heart attack or something.
he doesn't have a heart.
He can fake having a lung attack.
He can fake having a short circuit.
He can fake having some sort of invasive to his life, his existence. I don't know.
He could have a virus.
He could have coughed on her.
He coughed on her.
Don't go.
the Grievous cough.
He really would have been General Grievous at that point. Like, Master Kenob. That joke has aged very badly in light of COVID-19. I feel like we can't joke about having a cough, like, for a while. Seriously.
I have the black lung, though.
Yeah. I thought of that the other day. I was watching clips from Zoolander, and I got to the part where Zoolander's like, I think I got the black lung. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
I can't laugh at
You're
that
like down
anymore.
there for 2 days.
Like, people with coughing, it's genuinely a harrowing thing at the moment. So, like, we shouldn't fuck with that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Nick.
Okay, yes, I'm the bad guy. Fuck Nick. Nick's the fucking worst.
Yeah, what the hell, Nick?
I was really hoping Raekwon would say something encouraging right about that.
Oh, it's even better.
He was just like, yup.
Yeah,
Fuck Nick.
Zoolander's like one of my favorite movies of all time. So you just bring up that like coughing scene. I'm just trying not to die laughing in light of everything going on.
All right. Sure. You suddenly have words to share when it comes to defending yourself, but not me. See how it is, you motherfucker.
Moisture is the essence of wetness. Wetness is the essence of beauty.
Oh my god.
I'm crying.
So, yeah, Nanalia joins him on this adventure to get space friends to fight space not friends. And as this is happening, they go their separate ways, and Nanalia meets your guy, Cayman of the Lambda Zone.
Yes.
Because she gets captured, doesn't she, or something?
She does.
Well, first what happens is she get maybe at the same time. It's plot A and plot B. She gets captured. And then at the same time, the other guy, the main protagonist, finds the space cowboy and he sees him getting shot. And I like the attention to detail that the ships have force fields. And they do in Star Wars too, but Star Wars doesn't go to this extent. At least I didn't see it or can't recall. That when the space cowboy ship is getting hit, the shield is there and you can see the lasers deflecting off into another direction, which I like the detail.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
cool.
that was a nice touch.
In Star Wars, they kind of just disappear when they hit the shield.
Yeah, doesn't the shield just absorb it in Star Wars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now my problem with the space cowboy is he doesn't look like a space cowboy. He looks like a space fisherman. Okay, that's not a cowboy.
He's like a
Has a
space
fisherman.
rancher. Like, he looks like an actual cowboy in the sense that they just worked on ranches.
Not like a spaghetti western cowboy.
Yeah, even though his character is literally just like, his character is obsessed with spaghetti westerns, but he acts more like a real cowboy.
Maybe he's just like a cosplayer. He just loves westerns so much he wants to become a westerner, and that's why. But he's in space because people don't know westerners, so they think he's just cool like a cowboy. But in reality, and like on Earth, he's just an idiot and loser.
But he looked like a fisherman because of that vest. Why did he have a vest on?
Yeah, why do you have a fisherman's vest and a weird, not cowboyish hat?
Do you think he wore the fishing vest because, like, they couldn't get an actual cowboy vest?
He looked too much like Indiana Jones.
They wanted him to be like Han Solo, so like just fucking give him any vest.
Quick, give him a vest to put on top of his flannel.
It's just the vest. It's just the the vest from Back to the Future. Like, what's with the life preserver?
Honestly, no, like, that is exactly it, Mike, though. It looks like they just went to the clearance section of a Kmart and went, yeah, this'll do.
Yeah. So what happens in this scene is that this is the first time I keep getting distracted because I have Discord open right now, and I just keep watching the GIF you sent of Pikachu walking with the ketchup bottle. It's completely distracting.
Fucking scroll up.
just Pikachu walking with a bottle of ketchup, and I remember that scene. And I love that scene.
Okay.
But as I was saying, Pikachu was that the space cowboy was getting shot, and what the hell was the main character's name again?
Shad.
Okay. Shad had the ship was telling Shad to help him. He's like, we can, but I would have to kill. I've never taken a life before. And Shad was being a very wimpy here. And he's like, I can't take a life. And then the ship's like, all right, idiot, I'll do it. And the ship shoots one of the ships and he's like, I've never taken a life before, but I didn't take it. And you're not supposed to, because a robot's not supposed to take the life of a living being. I'm like, well, we know the rules. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think Shad is the worst character in this. I'm just getting that out of the way.
Shad's annoying.
Mainly because, you have to think, like, Shad is supposed to be this movie's Luke Skywalker, but at the same time, Luke in the first Star Wars movie was a whiny complainer. So,
He was a
like,
farm boy.
exactly. But, like, if you think back to the first Star Wars movie, Luke was arguably the worst character in it. Yes, he blows up the Death Star, but holy mother of God, does he just complain for the rest of the movie? Now, on the other hand, you have, like, everyone else in that movie was awesome. Princess Leia is literally, like, insulting the people that's rescuing her by calling Chewbacca a walking carpet. Han Solo is Han frickin' Solo. Chewie's there, you know?
Chewie's there. Celebrating Life Day.
Yeah. He looks stoned in every scene he's in. And then R2-D2 and C-3PO are cool.
Well, yeah, C-3PO was annoying as Luke. Always complaining.
Yeah, but he was like endearingly annoying because he gets his just desserts.
But what is his just desserts? What did he get happen to him?
So like because he was complaining and following R2-D2, he gets kidnapped by Jawas. He gets put onto a like space station that's literally committing genocide. And he's essentially being used as bait.
All right, fine. You're right.
You're right, though. He really, like, even C-3PO was kind of annoying in that movie. But for the same reason that Luke was, which kind of only strengthens my point.
Luke was spoiled.
Yeah, Luke was just like, I want to go to the Tashi station to pick up some power converters.
Man, I want a lightsaber.
But he's the chosen one.
He is the chosen. No, he isn't even the chosen one in the first movie. Ben's just like, you're cool, and then dies.
Your father's Darth Vader, so, you know, it's okay.
Yeah. No, he doesn't even tell him he's Darth Vader. He's just like, yep, Darth Vader killed your dad. And then two movies later, Luke is like, you lied to me. I wasn't lying. I was telling the truth from a certain point of view. That's literally what he says to Luke when Luke's like, why didn't you tell me Darth Vader was my dad? You fucking lied to me.
Like, well, technically, I did tell you.
It was on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need, right?
Yeah, you only needed to know that after you got your hand cut off.
You mean I could have saved my hand?
Yeah, basically.
You think in surgeries, do they use little lightsaber tools for surgery?
There's a Family Guy sketch where, this is like season 1 Family Guy, where Meg is like, come on, laser eye surgery is so safe these days. And it's Luke Skywalker holding a lightsaber, about to use the laser on someone's eye. And Ben is behind her. Ben is behind him, and he's just like, Luke, use the Force. Oh, okay. Uses the Force, totally fucks up and stabs through the guy's head. So that answer your question at all, Mike?
Yes, it does. Yes, thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah, the main takeaway from that is that Shad is annoying.
Yeah, and he has a mole on his cheek.
Yes, he does have a mole on his cheek, and it does not look as attractive as it would on a femme fatale in a noir movie.
Hey.
Okay, so like I know we're completely off topic already, so I'm just going to let us stay there for a bit longer.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so moles in movies. Like moles on the femme fatale's cheek in a noir movie.
The hell's a femme fatale?
That's the woman in those old detective movies that's like the super sexy, sultry woman who helps the main protagonist.
Gloria Swanson.
Yes, who's essentially their downfall at the end of the story. Very attractive quality in classic noir cinema. The mole on the cheek, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Never attractive on a man. Never. I can't think of a single movie where a mole is attractive on a man's cheek. Attractive on a femme fatale, not a man. This sounds like a Seinfeld bit, and I hate it.
Yep, it does.
What's the deal with cheek moles? And then George Costanza in the background's like, it's inconsistent, Jerry!
I can't think of a male having that mole on his cheek other than Shad, but they also don't look the same.
I googled. This is exactly what I googled: cheek mole man movie. And the first picture, you want to guess
the
first picture
shittiest
is?
superhero I've ever heard of.
Cheek mole man movie.
Cheek mole man.
The first picture is from is from Austin Powers.
Okay.
And the second picture is, I don't know, it says the guy in Dunkirk was a real mole. The third one is Robert Redford. The fourth one, want to guess what the fourth one is?
Who?
It's Shad, but not Shad like in the movie. It's the guy who plays Shad with the mole on his cheek.
Oh, wow. There you go, guys. We just answered it. Now, circling back to the other pressing thing, Cheek Mole Man movie is really when you know Marvel is losing their thread.
Cheek Mole Man movie. Oh, yeah. Like,
That's phase 6 of the MCU.
Hey, you're saying Adam Driver's mole on his cheek is not, like, good looking?
Okay, there you go. There you go. That is okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we just need to throw a dress on him and put him in a remake of Double Indemnity.
That's the only one I'm getting out of this is Adam Driver. He's Cheek Mole Man movie.
All I'm getting out of this is that we need Adam Driver to play the femme fatale in the remake of Double Indemnity, or little meta for you. Remake Sunset Boulevard, have him play the silent actress, and have her silent movie be Kylo Ren in Star Wars.
But I can think of another one.
I'm still big. It's the movies that got small. Continue, Mike.
I could think of another one, but I don't know if it counts because it's a fake mole. But if you remember not Gene Wilder, the Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane version, the two homosexual characters, when he goes
from the producers.
Yeah, he has the one that the assistant has a mole on his cheek.
Yeah, but is it like played for being attractive?
I mean, it does look good on him, but I mean, yes, I guess, because when the guy the guy who he's assisting goes to go on stage to play Adolf Hitler. Yes, it's about it. Look up the producers. I'm not going to explain it, but when he goes to play Adolf Hitler, he's like, get my Gloria Swanson mole, and he pulls it off his cheek and goes, got it, and he puts it on, so it makes him look better. So I guess it is used in a way to make him look better.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm proving you wrong, Nick.
I mean, I don't think you're necessarily proving me wrong, other than the fact that you've just established that you've watched The Producers one time too many.
Oh, I love The Producers. That's one of my favorite movies. Bless you.
Yeah. No one did it. Raekwon, did you sneeze?
I did not.
Are you okay, Raekwon?
The audience behind me sneezed.
Is it okay? Raekwon, are you okay? Can the rest of
the audience behind me just raised the roof?
It was Aaron. Gotcha. No, I was concerned because if Raekwon sneezed, I mean, obviously the whole fucking world has to stop.
I didn't sneeze.
Okay.
Promise.
Now he has to sneeze, and then we have to stop the podcast because we have to make sure Raekwon's okay.
Okay. Yep. We're good. Raekwon's okay.
I sneeze, you just watch me die. Okay, fine.
All right.
I get it.
Yeah.
Priorities.
So yeah, what happens is let's just jump around a little, do bullet points for the acquiring of the team as it is. The
lizard guy, Raekwon's favorite.
Yes, yeah. Cayman of the Lambda Zone. He gets recruited by Nanalia after he kidnaps her and is prepared to sell her as a slave. I thought that was a detail that was worth bringing up.
Slave or protein?
Slave or protein, that's right.
Yeah.
He's either going to sell her or eat her for protein. To which I go, wow, okay, these gym rats are out of control.
Hey, it's progressive because he didn't take her and say, ooh, I'm going to do some nasty stuff to you. No, he's like, I'm going to either sell you as a slave or just eat you.
I guess it's also progressive because is it really slavery if she has the other option?
She doesn't have the option.
No. Like she has the option of either being a slave or eaten for she doesn't get to choose?
Yes, she doesn't get to choose.
It's totally slavery then. Sorry. Continue.
But if he's not a gym rat, he's a gym lizard. Gotta get it right.
He's a
gym turtle.
He's a gym turtle.
Either a gym lizard or a gym turtle.
He's a gym
I sent this picture.
A ninja turtle.
Yeah, he looks like a ninja turtle.
He's just trying to get swole for the TMNT movie.
He's the fifth ninja turtle nobody talks about. I'm just looking at the picture with his lazy eye.
Dude, there is a fifth Ninja Turtle. I feel like I sent that to the Instagram.
Wait, is there?
Yes, we don't have to deep dive into it, but yes, there is a fifth Ninja Turtle that was a former she was a former foot ninja that was like on her deathbed or whatever, and they saved her with the ooze, and she's
so
a Ninja
they turned
Turtle.
her into a Ninja Turtle. That makes
and she has
weird as hell.
a white mask,
Mm-hmm.
or white. Is it white or like yellow?
Wait, is that in the movies, the cartoon, or the TV?
It's a comic. The comic.
Okay, gotcha. The one form of Ninja Turtles that I never read, even though I probably should, because I heard they're actually great.
Yeah, they met up with Batman and the Power Rangers.
Yeah, but that's like, aren't the comic book Ninja Turtles are like 10 times more adult than the TV show, aren't they?
A little more. They're like graphic novels. Like the
Gotcha.
DC. A little bit more violent. No, not DC level graphic, but less like pow and
Less
kick,
pow and
punch.
more, I just cut your fucking dick off.
It's more like punch and teeth and blood come out than just punch and a sound effect comes out of his face.
Gotcha.
Pow, boom, quacha.
Pow, boom, right in the kisser. Wait, that's the honeymooners.
That's domestic abuse.
Yeah, that's domestic abuse, aka the honeymooners.
Ooh.
Do you think? Okay, so this is again. Sorry with all the tangents, but like, do you think anyone's ever put in a call for a domestic abuse case and gone, "Help! I can't stop watching the honeymooners."
Oh.
And then the other person on the phone is just like, "Well, just turn your TV off." No. I don't think you understand, friend. I can't stop watching the honeymooners. Is there
Bang, zoom.
is there a marathon on or something? Bang, zoom, right in the kisser. I've never seen the show. Is that a quote? Is
What are
that
you
Gilligan's Island?
You think there's a thing that's called like the honeymooner effect, the honeymooner syndrome for that?
How do you figure?
Like, I don't know. Like, if there's a certain kind of domestic abuse, it's called like the honeymooner effect, where it's like the way that the abuse is happening, it's like similar to the honeymooners.
I don't know. That's a really. I just
Very
googled the
psychological
honeymooners effect, and there's nothing there. So I think. Yeah, I don't know.
I felt real smart there for a second.
Well, I mean, I felt pretty smart wondering if anyone has ever called 911 and tried to use honeymooner references to subtly tell them that they're being beaten.
So Nick, what other references would you use for an emergency? Say a fire.
So I would probably, if I have an evil stepmother and I'm being forced to do dirty work at the house, I'd probably say that I can't stop watching Cinderella.
Ah, so if you're a slave in your house, okay.
Yes. If Mel Gibson was going berserk wearing leather in a desert near me, I would probably say that I can't stop watching Mad Max. If Mel Gibson was going berserk and holding a cross, I'd probably say I can't stop watching Passion of the Christ.
And if Mel Gibson was holding an holding an Irish flag, yelling freedom.
Yeah, I would say that I can't stop watching Braveheart.
I've never seen Braveheart.
Yeah,
Really?
that's a good movie.
Never. I know it's like a classic, but never seen.
The character he plays gets drawn and quartered. He gets pulled apart in pieces and scattered across the island.
Shit, really?
Yeah, that's how
Wow.
it goes.
Why are you using that as like a selling point to Raekwon?
Because you want to watch Mel Gibson get ripped apart by horses.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. I'm not
true.
a Mel Gibson fan.
You remember the movie with Mel Gibson where he can read women's minds?
So if I'm at what movie is that?
They just remade it with a woman doing it with men, but I don't
Oh, yeah.
remember. I'm sure if I Google it, I will find it. But it basically he gets electrocuted, and then all of a sudden he can read women's minds, and then
Oh, I
he becomes
know.
like this amazing person. Like he woos women all the time, but then he falls in love, and then he's like, "Oh man, I've used these powers, and now she's a great woman." And it's a whole weird movie,
That sounds
very
terrible.
Oh yeah,
misogynistic.
they did just remake.
Yeah, they did remake it because they did. But we should quickly get back on track.
Right, we have a space movie to talk about.
Denali, she gets Cayman and his like sidekicks because he has these two like sidekicks that can, what is it? They communicate through heat.
Yeah,
Came in the lizard crew.
Yeah.
Kelvin 1 and 2.
Kelvin 1 and 2. That's right. That's their
The
names.
two bald weirdos. Yeah, those bald weirdos.
Yeah,
I forgot
Thing
about
1
them.
and Thing 2. I'll just, here on out, I'm going to refer to it as Cayman and the Funky Bunch.
I love it. That's better.
Yeah. They join the crew. Cowboy joins Shad, and they quickly assemble the rest of the team. They meet a hive mind. What's that?
Which one of them is Barbarella?
Yeah, well, one of them is essentially Barbarella, but I'll get to her in a second. But they meet a hive mind named Nestor, who's voiced by the guy who plays Dr. Silverman in the Terminator movies. They also meet Gelt, an assassin who has nowhere to go. He's wanted on every planet except the planet that Shad is from. So he agrees to join them in exchange for shelter and food. And the final person in their crew is San Eggsman, the warrior Valkyrie, not Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm. Valkyrie.
Yeah, Raekwon made a very quick point earlier to bring that up. Not a Valkyrie.
Why?
For legal purposes, we cannot say Valkyrie. What aren't they, Mike?
Valkyrie?
No. She is not that. She's a say it again, Raekwon.
Valkyrie.
Exactly. Played by Tessa Thompson in the reboot, if there ever is one.
Now we need a reboot.
Yeah, now we need a reboot with Kyle MacLachlan as Sador and Tessa Thompson as Saint Eggsman, the Valkyrie.
I would
And then
watch
Bruce
the shit
Campbell
out
as
of
the
that.
hive mind.
Yeah. I would love all of that. Are you kidding me?
So you agree with Bruce Campbell being the hive mind?
No, Bruce Campbell would be Gelt. He would be the assassin.
Dude,
Who is this?
we didn't mention the Tinder game that Delt had on his, like, in his little lair, where it was like you pick a date, like he's all right.
Oh,
So
dial a date and dial a drug.
date, yeah, that's what it was.
Did I miss that? I think I missed that part.
This one, I'm surprised you didn't mention this one because this actor, the person that plays him, this actor is well known.
Yeah, he's in The Magnificent Seven, by the way, the guy who plays Gelt.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
funny.
even weirder because I know he's in the final season of the A-Team.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like an actual actor. Also, I mean, I guess they all are, but like, you know what I mean. The person who plays Nanalia, she's also in a couple of things. I forgot what it was, but she was in something that we've, like, she's in a movie or TV show that you guys have at least heard of or saw.
Let's see.
Nanalia?
Yeah, okay, here, wait, I'm on her filmography. So she was in Once Upon a Time in America.
Never seen it.
But yeah, that's like a super famous movie. She was in the 80s version of The Twilight Zone, and she was in the pilot to MacGyver. So
Cool.
yeah,
So,
she's
there
like
you go.
actually also somewhat of an established actress, more of like a supporting role kind of person. She was also in Pet Sematary too.
She was in Running Scared.
Oh, there you go.
Snap with Billy Crystal.
Oh,
That's cool.
wow.
She played Anna Costanzo.
Yeah. Haven't seen that one.
Well,
But
me neither.
yeah, so that's kind of a thing. And with all of these characters, they're finally their bootleg ragtag Magnificent Seven Avengers team.
Justice League.
We'll call them the do-gooders for goodness.
Nice.
Complete with their like cheesy Hanna-Barbera 60s animated intro
Ooh.
at an astonishing 3 frames a second. I like low-key want a
frames.
I low-key want a Boomerang subscription specifically to watch crappy Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Like, so I should rephrase that very quickly. I love Hanna-Barbera, but the animation is objectively bad.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's like 3 frames a second of animation and repeating backgrounds.
But that's the best part. That's what makes it a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Yeah, that is like the Hanna-Barbera signature. So I guess like I can't hate that much.
If it was done today, then yeah, you'd say, what the hell? You're not Hanna-Barbera. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, even South Park, like they're animated at like 18 frames a second probably, or they're animated to look like it's at 18 frames a second.
Given what they did was like really hard in the beginning because they had to do stop motion with it.
Yeah. I mean, but in their case, they're emulating cardboard,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Anyway, yes, so they get their team together and they go back to the planet. I already forgot the name of the planet. I'm going to be real with you guys.
Akir.
Akir. Yes. I wonder if that's named after Akira Kurosawa at all?
I thought
Akira
maybe,
Toriyama.
but it's like, why not just name it Akira?
That's true. Why not call it
Planet
Akira?
Shakira.
Yes, time to go back to our planet. Shakira, Shakira. And then She-Wolf starts playing. Bet you thought it would be Hips Don't Lie.
Is that what I was singing? Hips Don't Lie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never heard. What was the She-Wolf? I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I probably have, but I don't know it.
You probably haven't, actually. But anyway, they do go back, and they're basically like, all right, so we're screwed. Like,
Well, it was funny because the ship that was guarding the planet, just one ship with those two individuals. They're like, we have a problem. 7 ships showed up. 7? Yeah, 7. What should we do? Run. Because 7 ships showed up. You couldn't call your home base and be like, yo, these 7 ships showed up. Can you back us up?
yeah, can we get like told what to do? Can we use our literal sun gun, patent pending, to kill them? But yeah, they get axed pretty quickly. Like they get dropped. They do have a prisoner. They had captured a woman. The woman we said was definitely raped earlier.
Space rape.
Space raped, exactly.
Not raped, it's space rape. It's a different thing, Nick.
Well, Mike, when you're doing science fiction, you have to specify that it takes place in space.
Where did they abduct the woman from?
They abducted the woman off of Nikir during a wedding. They were watching a wedding, and then they just went whoop, whoop, and took her.
That was a lesbian wedding, right?
It was a gay wedding.
Or was it?
Wow.
I believe it was.
I thought so too. I wasn't sure. I thought they were just like the bride was there or something, but they were like having a wedding, and the other bride just was like, everybody scatter, and they all just ran. He was like, go get her, beam her up, beam her up.
We don't have a permit. Run! They just yeah, she gets beamed up, and she like tries to stop them. She like grabs the controls and jostles it, which is what leads to Gelt being able to actually kill them.
I thought that was a really cool moment, though.
Yeah, it's sad that nobody ever acknowledges that there was a person from Akir on the ship.
Yeah.
Like, they don't so much as go, oh yeah, by the way, were there any civilians on that ship? We totally blew it to fucking smithereens, and oh, okay. All right. Well, moment of silence. Moment over. Let's go, guys. Come on. Marching in the face of death. Am I right?
Marching in the face of death.
Also worth mentioning the Valkyrie, St. Eggsman. It's worth mentioning that she isn't officially a part of the team.
Yeah. Shad doesn't want her on the team.
Yeah. Shad doesn't want the person who literally asked to be on the team because she's from a warrior planet. They basically just explore the galaxy picking fights with people. And when she finds out that they're going up against Lord Satyr, she's just like, oh, that's cool, man. Pick me. I am so good at this. They would call me Xena the warrior princess, but we're pretty sure Lucy Lawless can crush us with one hand.
I thought she was going to be like good. I mean, she turned out to be good, but in the beginning, she kind of like because she was like this little ship that was avoiding Shad, and then she just kind of was like, "Oh, we just fought, and I won." And he's like, "Well, we didn't really fight. You just avoided me, though."
Yeah,
and that's when she asked to be recruited, and he's just like, "Nah, like, fuck off."
Piss off.
Okay, my second favorite character. Well, no, Cowboy is my second. Okay, my favorite character in this was probably Cowboy, followed by Nestor, followed by her. She's like my third favorite character because I find her really funny. Like, exactly for that reason, where she's like, good fight. What are you talking about? We didn't fight. Yeah, I know. It was a really close one there. Are we speaking different languages, lady?
Can you hear me?
Is my mic off?
She was a fit god, though.
What's that?
She was a fit god.
She was a fit god. She had on a different fit every single time we saw her, except for in the very beginning.
Yeah, she had like several different outfits, and her ship is so her gimmick is that she pilots the smallest ship and that it's the fastest. That is literally her gimmick.
But I'm surprised you haven't brought up how she sits in that ship. She sits like a hot dog in a hot dog burger.
Oh yeah, that's right. She does like the double chin thing the whole time. She's like,
just sitting back the entire time.
all right, I'm going into battle. Better strap on my neck brace.
She was immobile the whole time. She didn't really move except like for her hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and when she dies, she just screams. Wah!
She looks like that. She looks like the character in that World of Warcraft South Park episode where he's just like slouched in his chair and he has his hand on his keyboard.
Yep, that's it.
Which I loved. But she's also wearing like very scantily clad battle armor, and you're just like, wow, this is a weird juxtaposition of images. Like she's wearing, let's put it like this, she's wearing very flattering clothes, but she's sitting in a very unflattering way. And
she also starts hitting on Shad and wants to sleep with him too.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. There's like a whole point where she starts hitting on Shad, and at one point she like struts past him with so much moxie, and then she covers the camera with her ass.
Yes, I remember that.
It's like
that was crazy.
This movie is sending me so many mixed signals. Are we supposed to are we supposed to be attracted to her? Are we supposed to think she's some sort of sloth? Like,
it's a sloth.
Does she know? Is she the main? Is she the female lead from Fatal Attraction? Is she like? Does she have some sort of mental issue that causes her to ricochet between being attractive and crazy
and annoying?
It's her species.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I just shad all over this person.
Ew.
I know.
What?
How am I so genuinely concerned over a bit of wordplay?
Very poor choice of words.
Yeah, it wasn't in good taste, as shadding all over people usually is. Sorry to shad on this parade. Anyway,
so what happens
yes,
next is one of the hive mind gets captured, and I don't know.
Well,
what
no. What happens is there's a battle.
Oh. Well, yeah, the battle, and doesn't one of them get captured in the battle?
Yeah, but we didn't even talk about the battle itself.
Fine, then go ahead.
Really quick, there's a battle, and don't you me. Yeah,
Fine.
okay, so in doing that, by the way, I accidentally licked my microphone a bit, and I think I have hepatitis now. Continue. Yes, there's a battle, and during the battle, Nestor gets captured.
On purpose.
Or one of Nestor, because we didn't explain it. He's a hive mind, so he says there are 5 of him that join the party, and they only need 4 to operate their ship, but Shad is like, why are you giving me 5 then? And Nestor's like, an extra never hurt. And that extra... but you could say it in a sec, Mike. What happens, though, is you find out why that extra came along when he gets captured. Now you can pick it up.
Because the hive mind also can read minds and control minds. So that's why they picked him up. And then what happens is he captures him, lops off his arm, then Sator lops off his own arm, and then, uses it to control stuff. But it backfires because then the hive mind's like, haha, stupid, and then tries to Bowie knife his neck. But they're like, oh, no, just chop it off. And he chops off his arm again. I'm like, well, now you have no arm, idiot.
Well, no, because okay, wait. So did Sator have 2 arms at the beginning of the movie? I actually couldn't remember.
I think so.
He has a second arm, but I think it's messed up.
Gotcha. So he has like a disfigured arm, and that's why he took Nestor's good one.
Sounds like Lord Vader.
Yeah, it does sound like Darth Vader.
Arm,
I have the high ground, Nestor.
Oh my God.
I have the inclined ascending
I have the top of the staircase, Nestor.
Staircase. So you can't say staircase, it's
the space case. The stair space. So yeah, like Nestor does get captured. He does lose an arm. But I liked that. I liked that, like, Nestor, because he's a hive mind and they're all connected, he has the forethought because he doesn't actually intend for his arm to get cut off originally, I think. What happens is wherever Nestor is, wherever one part of this hive mind is, all of Nestor can see it. So he lets a part of himself get captured so that they can get intel on Lord Sator. That's the plan. In doing that, Lord Sator cuts off his arm, and then Nestor's like, well, I can control any piece of me remotely, which is why he tries to basically gut Lord Sador with his own arm.
You're on the nose there.
I don't get it. What?
What?
Wait.
Because the lizard guy has no nose. He's like Voldemort, but scaly.
Okay.
I'm having a stroke, Nick.
Clearly, yeah. Mike's
Of
just
genius.
Oh, what? Oh my God! Did he get a monocle? People, is he wearing a monocle?
I'm the Monopoly guy now. I'm rich.
Could you imagine if you're with your friends, you say something smart, and then there's just a beam of light that hits you? You lift into the air chest first, and you land wearing a monocle.
I ascend to the highest level.
Ah, yes, stock bonds. You know
What the hell? Stock market money, business.
Ah, yes, CompuServe, and then you're just like suddenly.
IBM.
Yes,
IBM.
invest in IBM. That's it.
What's the podcast created avatar's name again? The
Threesies.
Oh, threesies.
Threesies.
Well,
Yeah.
I ascend to threesies. I am threesies.
A
Just
bolt
become
of lightning
threesies.
hits you.
Threesies is a hive mind. Every time someone gets ascended to the next level, they become one of the threesies, and just one threesies. That's why they're all over the place.
Like you're at a dinner party. For those who are listening, and for those who don't know, Threesies is a character we came up with like a year ago on the podcast who crops up. He's a British aristocrat, more or less. But yeah, Mike, like you're at a dinner party and you're like, huh, man, this looks like some real high class society. And like you're fucking Shazam or something, you just walk into the crowd, scream Shazam, and a bolt of lightning turns you into a British guy.
It can't be Shazam. I have to yell something else. What would threesies yell?
Crumpets! And then boom!
Crumpets!
Oh man! But is it Threesies also? His actual name's like fucking like Reginald or something.
Sir Reginald Byron the Third. Yeah.
But it's also the same name as the Nesquik bunny, right?
It's so stupid. Sometimes I wonder, like, I guess like every day we get a little bit further from God is what I'm getting. That's
You guys only get a little further. I'm ascending. All right.
as Mike.
Basically, with the picture Raekwon sent on Discord.
What we don't know is if you go to Mike's camera right now, he's on a staircase that's just raising up. He's on an escalator.
I had to plug my my JoJo meme. Had to throw that in there.
Oh my God. Here we go. Yes, that's Mike right now. That
Nick, you're gonna love looking at that video.
the JoJo meme. Okay, so let's continue with this plot. So,
Who's died so far?
well, no one has died yet, but Nestor fails to assassinate Lord Sador, and Lord Sador's like, "All right, fuck it, let's just go back with everything and kill these guys."
Yeah.
Just use my laser for God's sake. That's what we have it for, right?
Again, I feel like Lord Sador is he's very bad at being a tyrant. He's like, okay, so we're going to warn them a week before we kill them. And then we're going to go there without the weapon we threatened to use on them. In all honesty, we were probably going to do it to begin with, but we forgot it. And then we were 30 minutes like away and we were just like, oh shit, do we turn around, or would we rather be late, or would we literally forget the Death Star we promised to kill them with? It's kind of like going to a barbecue, forgetting the fucking Italian salad and just buying some at a deli on the way.
Bastard.
That's my rationale for what happened, at least. I don't know.
I mean, he is kind of a bad. Well, hold on. We didn't mention this at the arm part, but the doctor's name is Daco. I don't know.
Daco?
Yes, I'm so serious. He called him Daco. He's like, give me the arm, Daco. Or he tells him to cut it off, and he calls him Daco.
Was he calling him Daco as if it was his name, or was he like pretending he was like an Italian guy from 80s New York going, yo, Daco, cut off this dude's arm.
Chop, chop. Let's go.
Chop, chop, come on.
Time is money.
Yeah.
I gotta ascend to the next level. Let's go.
Was he the owner of the pizzeria from Do the Right Thing? Come on, Mookie. We got to make some money over here.
Come on, chop, chop.
Chop, chop.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was literally just soft, like low-key auditioning for Do the Right Thing.
But this movie, Nick,
Yes.
as the movie goes on, one by one, they all get dropped. The hive mind gets blown up. The cowboy is the saddest one. I'll give him that one. That one was good. Okay.
The cowboy's
He's like,
death,
I have 30 seconds. Yeah.
the cowboy's death belongs in Cowboy Bebop. There is literally a scene in Cowboy Bebop that is literally the cowboy's death from this.
Is it the first episode?
No, it's not the first episode. So I guess we should explain the cowboy's death. So Cowboy, besides the fact that he's the coolest character in this movie by a mile, his death is his ship gets hit. He starts to careen out of control to crash into Akir's like atmosphere. Like he's going to crash land on the planet and die. And without any controls, he pours himself a drink and he's just like, well, so long. Whatever
He's
happens.
just playing the harmonica.
Yeah, he plays harmonica.
And just waits for death.
It was so sad.
That was sad.
Oh my God.
Very possibly referenced in Cowboy Bebop in an episode where Spike is on a collision course with the planet Earth, has no control over the ship, his ship, the Bebop. I think his ship's name is the Bebop.
Yeah.
Has no control over it. He just puts a cigarette in his mouth, leans back, and goes, whatever happens, happens. Wait, I'm Ed.
You're Ed, not Ein. You're Ed.
What is going on?
I don't know. Guys, it's been a weird day for me, okay?
All right, so how does this movie end, Nick, though? Everyone gets knocked off
Everyone
and then
dies.
It ends so bad.
Saint Eggsman, she dies because what happens to her?
she kamikazes her ship into the
Oh, that's right. She tries to pull a Last Jedi and uses her ship as a kamikaze.
But it works though. It damages the
It destroys the Death Star thingy.
Yeah, the weapon itself.
Yeah, that's true. Gelt, he was the first one to die. He just basically, his ship caught on fire on the inside and he got like burnt to death and killed. But he actually gets buried.
Yeah, he gets back on the ship somehow. Or back on Akir. Yeah.
The final blow, the blow that kills Sador, is basically the way the force fields work in this entire movie is you can defend your ship, but whenever you start attacking, you have to lower your shields.
Nice. Seems like a design flaw, but nice.
Exactly. And Sador, because he's angry at how much of his fleet had been destroyed in both of the battles and stuff, he gets cocky and he starts planning to just destroy everything. You know, he's like planning to kill everybody. So he lowers his shields, which allows Shad with Nanalia on the ship to kill him.
And while he yells, I will live forever. I will never die. Like
no,
that
he was
thing.
just like, I wanted to live forever.
I'm gonna live
It wasn't.
forever.
He wasn't
Yeah,
even
that's
like,
super
I'll be
sad.
back. Yeah, he was just like freaking out because mortality.
Not the way that his stormtrooper told him that it was all over, he was just like, what's happening? He's like, they're reversing the thrusters. We're all gonna die.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was cheesy. But the part that I think Raekwon, what do you hate about the ending? Maybe you want to sum it up.
because it happened so quickly. Like it was just like, oh yeah, they're gonna Shad and what's her name again?
Nanalia.
Shad and Nanalia, they escaped in an escape pod with their drunken AI, with drunken Nell.
That's right. Her memory gets erased.
Yeah, so they escaped, and then I guess the plan was for the ship to just self-destruct as they're like, beaming them up into the ship.
Yeah, so the idea was, oh no, what happened was Sador trapped them in a tractor beam because he wanted to torture them before he killed them.
Mhm.
That's what he
okay.
wanted to do. And while the ship is being brought in, Nell sets up a bomb in the ship and puts everyone in an escape pod and shoots them off.
And when that happens, it's just the mutated stormtrooper. He's, I guess, what's his name? Lord Sader is just like, what's going on? He's just like, we're all gonna die. Like, oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Wait, what?
Oh, all right. Boom.
Yeah, that's how
But
that
then-
goes. You're right.
And then they just blow up. It's just it. Like that's the end. And
Yeah.
well,
But
they
no,
do
then
have.
the end. Yeah.
What do they do? Do they kiss again, or do
They
they kiss?
kiss again.
And he has a monologue, and then it zooms in on his face, and then it ends.
Yeah, so basically they do have this whole speech where they're just like, so long as one member of Akir survives, they'll be immortal in our memories. And it's like,
Aw.
okay. Like,
And it cuts. And then that's it.
yeah, that literally the movie just ends and they're like, the end. Aren't you glad you spent $5 on a ticket probably back in the day?
I could have bought me a car.
I could have bought 1/10 of a Nintendo game.
Ooh.
Or you could have seen Star Wars instead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this movie was made for the kids who were like, Mom, I want to own Star Wars on VHS. Sees that it's like $40. Why don't we get Battle Beyond the Stars instead, Timmy? It's $5. Guess what? I'll even throw in some Little Caesars pizza if you shut the fuck up.
Pizza, pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza, pizza, bitch.
Oh my God.
But Nick, what did you think of the movie?
So it sounds like both of you guys didn't like it. I enjoyed this movie for all the wrong reasons. Like, I think this movie is the perfect example of lovable B-movie trash. It's not a good movie. I wouldn't even call it an okay movie. But it was a lot of fun, and the special effects were surprisingly good given the $2 million budget.
Yeah.
It actually does a lot of the same tricks that like Star Wars did, but just simplified somewhat, you know? So I liked it. I recommend it, especially if you have like, look, we're all in self-quarantine right now. It's a trying time for everybody, right? You know what could work though?
Right.
Getting all of your friends on Skype, watching trashy movies like this and doing Mystery Science Theater live. That like, because that's what this movie is made for. This movie is literally, all B movies at this point are basically there for you to watch with your friends while you're drunk eating pizza and just making fun of it. That's like the whole point of them at this point in society.
Mm.
So yeah, I totally recommend this movie if you have people to make fun of it with. If you don't, guess what? This movie still has value. I'm probably going to put this movie on again for background noise when I'm playing Animal Crossing later, for example. So like uses like that make sense to me.
But I wouldn't spend money on it. I watched it for free. I didn't want to spend money on it.
Sure, and that's totally your prerogative. Like I said, I rented this movie. It is on like YouTube and probably archive.org right now, but I watched it. I rented it just because I wanted an HD copy of it to watch. And for me, that was the easiest $4 I've spent. Like, it's $4.
Okay. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys? Raekwon, what did you think of the movie? Would you recommend it? Are you seething with rage towards me for basically giving you bootleg Star Wars?
No, because I think that, I mean, I went into it knowing it was going to be a B movie. I kind of, because we're in quarantine, I've been watching so much stuff. Like, I've just been watching Netflix all day. And I went into it with, just knowing that it would be a B movie, but like it's probably going to be fun to watch. I didn't hate it. I just hated how it ended so quick. Just so fast.
You were texting us throughout the day, too, about this movie, and I loved it.
Yeah, I was sending screenshots of like the shitty makeup or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Like, I did enjoy watching it. I mean,
Mhm.
It wasn't a good movie, but I didn't expect it to be a good movie. So,
Yeah, exactly.
would I recommend it to someone? I would recommend it to a fellow Star Wars fan. Yeah, just not someone who doesn't enjoy, like sci-fi movies, because they would just think it's because like I don't remember if it was you or Mike that said it in the beginning. Like this is probably what other people who like hate, like people who don't like Star Wars, view sci-fi
Yeah.
movies as.
Yeah, that's basically. I mean, even me. So science fiction is something that I really like, but it's not something I'm familiar with. Like, I want to like Star Trek, and I want to get into Star Trek and Doctor Who and like all this like classic stuff, right? But I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I physically. Maybe tonight I'll watch the pilot to Star Trek. If one of you guys want to like live text during that, that could be our fucking gimmick.
Word.
Word. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was a good time, I guess. You seem to have enjoyed it enough. Mike, what about you? Do you seethe with rage for me? Do you question 20 years of friendship because of this movie?
No, when we watched Ricky 1, I questioned our friendship.
That was the second episode of this podcast. That is
Exactly.
alarming that it took you all of an episode to question everything.
This one, knowing it was a B movie, going into it, knowing what it was, I did not have a high bar for it.
Mhm.
So, it was, I guess, entertaining. It didn't hold me into the movie. I was very distracted watching it. It was all over the place with all these weird things. So basically, what people who weren't a fan of Star Wars when it first came out were like, "What the hell are they talking about?" Basically that.
Mhm.
But would I recommend it? Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's because it's James Cameron's like debut, sort of.
It's the movie that jump-started James Cameron's career, because after this, people trusted him with bigger projects, and then eventually he got to actually make his own movies. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For that reason, and like if they want to like sit around and have fun and make fun of it, yeah, that too, that's fine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it sounds to me like you guys didn't want to kill me for showing you bootleg Star Wars. So what if, putting you both on the spot, what if next week on the show we watched real bootleg Star Wars? Oh yeah, guys, I'm talking about Turkish Star Wars.
Yeah, Turkish Star Wars.
I'm down.
Yes, I mean, I don't think either of you have seen this movie before.
No, but it's on the list. I know that.
Mhm. Turkish Star Wars, for those who don't know, is a bootleg film. I won't get too into it because it's next week's episode, but bootleg movie from Turkey. It's infamous for stealing footage from Star Wars, The Space Race, and using the theme song to Indiana Jones for its own soundtrack. It's horrible. I've only seen it once in its entirety, and that was without subtitles. It was a fever dream. So my question to you guys, do we watch it with subtitles? Do we find a copy of this movie with the subtitles so that we can follow it? Or do we go in blind and just hope for the best?
I think the experiment should be two of us watch it with subtitles and one of us doesn't.
Okay, I can
And
get
then see
behind
what
this.
they think would happen.
How do we decide which unfortunate soul has to watch a movie without speaking a lick of Turkish?
I have no idea. You know what? I'll be the volunteer without the subtitles. I volunteer as tribute.
Okay.
All right.
And
All right.
just describe the fever dream I will have.
Okay, you got to write down your plot synopsis for it, Mike, and read it to us at the beginning of the episode.
All right. This is going to be very interesting.
Okay. That said, guys, that brings us to the end of this episode of the Media Obscura podcast. We do hope you enjoyed it. This was our first episode with all three of us on it. Very excited about that. Moving forward, we're going to try and keep that pace going. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to share it with a friend and all that good stuff. On top of that, feel free to follow us on social media at TheMediaObscura on Twitter and Instagram. And bye.
Love you.